How you set it up?
That was my impression of a gavel. I'm Kevin McLean. I'm the president of the Rutherford Board of Education. On the stage with us tonight are the other members of the Board of Education and our superintendent, our business administrator, and of course our high school principal. So this is actually the awards that we'll be doing in a little bit are actually part of the Board of Education regular meeting. So there are a number of procedural things that I'd like to go through, please. The first order, welcome to the Rutherford Board of Education regular meeting of October 22nd, 2018. And our first order of business is to ask you to please rise, and we will pledge allegiance to this flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Mrs. Ahmed? Here. Dr. Olati? Here. Mr. Healy? Here. Mrs. Jones? Mrs. Librera? Here. Mr. Mazzone? Here. Dr. Racine? Mr. Rowland? Mr. McLean? Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Rutherford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place posted on the bulletin board outside of the Borough Clerk's office, mailed to the Herald, South Bergenite, and Record newspapers, and filed with the Borough Clerk. Hard copies of the agenda are available in the meeting room, and the agenda is posted electronically on the district's website at www.rutherfordschools.org. Regular meetings of the Rutherford Board of Education will be broadcast without editing during a 2-hour time segment as limited by Comcast time constraints on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. on Comcast Public Access Channel and on Fios Channel 38. A video of the meeting can also be viewed on our website, www.rutherfordschools.org. The video link can be found by opening the Board of Education link and clicking Public Meetings and then Videos. Any member of the public who wishes to view a DVD of the meeting can make that request in writing to the Board Secretary. Members of the Board, you had in your packets for you this evening the minutes of our regular meeting of October 1st, 2018. If there are no questions or comments on those minutes, seeing none, I'll ask the secretary to please enter those into the record and post them. We were very fortunate tonight. Now we're getting to it. We have a special presentation, our annual Board of Education Awards, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Morano.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2018 Board of Education Award Ceremony. As the principal of RHS, it is with great pride that we recognize this distinguished group of students. Having the work ethic and desire to maintain a 3.7 GPA and no grade lower than a B- is amazing. Although I'm constantly bragging about what a comprehensive high school we have and how successful our arts, music, and athletic programs are, we are an academic institution first. These students are receiving awards tonight because of their hard work and commitment to academic excellence. I'd like to recognize and thank some important people that assist and lead our students daily. Our superintendent of schools, Mr. Jack Hurley, Mr. DeBarry, our assistant principal, Dr. Hopkins, the director of guidance, our business administrator, Mr. Kelly, our extremely supportive Board of Education members, and of course, our hardworking faculty and staff. Most importantly, I would like to thank and congratulate all the parents tonight. Your support and involvement in our school system is truly appreciated. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jack Hurley, Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Morano, and welcome. And on behalf of the Board of Education, I want to extend a congratulations to the parents and the guardians and the family who are here tonight to celebrate with us the success of your sons and daughters and our students. We are very proud of their accomplishments. As Mr. Morano stated, we are primarily an academic institution, and this award, which recognizes the academic excellence of these students, is certainly one of the best nights of the year. He mentioned the arts, he mentioned athletics, he mentioned the clubs and all the different activities, and most of these students are actively involved in many of those pursuits, which shows, again, the breadth and the depth of their talents, dedication, and diligence. So congratulations, enjoy the night, and on behalf of all of us, we are here to honor you, share your joy, your success, and wish you well to continue going forward each year during your journey here at the high school. Thank you. And now I'll turn the program over to the Director of Guidance, Dr. Hopkins. Dr. Hopkins.
The Board of Education Scholastic Award is presented to those students who meet the criteria of a 3.7 or higher weighted grade point average for an academic year, while also not receiving a final grade of less than a B-. The Bronze Award is presented to students who earn this distinction for one academic year. We would ask that you hold your applause until all names have been read so that each name can be heard. Mr. Kevin McLean, President of the Board of Education, will present the Bronze Awards. Our seniors, Urza Baladamani, Michael Castellanos, Sarah Hansen, Margaret Lasky, Darren Mateja, Sean McCosker, Carols Michael, Amanda Raposo, Michael Rizzolo, Stanley Serino, Manav Shah, Tridib Shom, Megan Tanella, Nicholas Tardif, Lena Yu. And now for our juniors, Sophia Andia, Kayla Chu, Alicia Gwendolyn Hockman, Lois Kim, Shannon Kresge, Samantha Lee, Amelia McCarthy, Hartley Peterson, Desiree Rivera, Sarah Scotty, Magda Sobolewska, and our sophomores, Mary Ahn, Julia Alati, Marina Armanos, Marina Bulos, David Burstowski, William Calvo, Gabriela Campos, Cal Chase, Ju Yan Cho, Kira Chaffee, Francis Corniculo. Sean Canine. Tony DeSalvo. Shayla Jerkovic. Luke Famey. Daniel Gregory. Ashley Hayscamp. Paige Holman. Shane Kelly. Sion Kim. Emma Lagasse. Camille Lansang. Gabrielle Lasso. Gabriella Leite. Megan Lichtenberger. Brianna Liller. Amy Insalata. Juliana Lorenz. Vishu Mangukia. Gabriel Mendez. Ella Mikowski. Joy Morales. Raj Parikh. Nirmal Patel. Anthony Puga Studeman. Jonathan Ramick. Hope Rettenberger. Stephanie Rettenberger. Timothy Rabadanera. Christina Rodriguez. Teresa Sasso. Ava Scheibe. Rishab Shah. Hiba Siddiqui. Siva Anand Sivakumar. James Smith. Sophia Sertiville. Perna Tepesha. Lauren Thorvey. Eric Tu. Eva Tobin. Gabriella Tomzak. Kanisha Vagasia. Alyssa Weber. Catherine Whaley. And Emma Wong. If you'd like to give a round of applause for our bronze winners. And now our silver award is presented to students who achieve a 3.7 or higher grade point average for 2 academic years, and Mr. Morano will present the awards. Our seniors, Erin Cartwright. Dhruv Champaneri. Kayla Dalia. Emma Guzman. Caroline Marin. Alexis Montoto. Sung Moon. J.O. Morgan Okula. Matteo Paoli. Jessica Skinner. Emma Sousa. Jack Whaley. And now for our juniors, Skylar Ahern. Isabel Andler. Samantha Armacost. Erin Augustifer. Bridget Boylan. Lauren Bronico. Joanna Calvo. Jonah Cantelmi. Jack Carr. Rian Chowdhury. Catherine Corcoran. Jack DeBarry. Kyle Donahue. Emily Feza. Madison Hebert. Brian Ingwanti. Jinso Kim. Anthony Louie. Isabel Macassette. Matus Marciniak. Emily Mueller. Natalie Marquez. I don't know why I keep doing that to you. Kevin No. Jay Patel. Tristan Ramick. Jenna Rogers. Rebecca Rojas. Sarah Rotondi. Christina Scanlon. Stacy Shang. Matthew Silva. Ola Smachinsky. Skylar Wazinski. Carolina Wisniewski. Please give a round of applause for our Silver Awards. And finally, our Gold Award is presented to students who earn the Board of Education Award for 3 years. The seniors who earn a Gold Award will also have the opportunity to earn a plaque at graduation to honor 4 academic years earning a BOE Award. Mr. Hurley will present. Christopher Arce. Daniel Armanos. Madison Burke. Adriana Camerano. Bum Soo Cho. Andrew Chun. Daniel Claro. Christopher Corcoran. Eric. 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 Madison Famey. Angie Garcia. Jillian Griggs. Sophia Kim. Regan Landrigan. Jake Lemaire. Charles Lawrence Maslag. Madison Mastrolia. Caroline McCarthy. Caroline Mirswa. Jason Moss. Jack O'Grady. Laura Savitsky. Eric Schriefer. Cooper Tormey. And Maggie Ronco. Mr. Morano wants me to do the next part, but I'm going to ask him.
And now for a few special awards that we have this evening. The Xerox Award for Innovation in Technology. The recipient of this award goes to a student who displays a strong interest in innovation and technology and has a high level of achievement in this area. We honor Jason Moss as this year's recipient. The George Eastman Young Leaders Award and Scholarship. This award goes to a student who displays strong leadership experience at school and in the community and has high grades in challenging courses and extensive involvement in extracurricular activities. This year's recipient is Connor Cahill. The Bausch and Lomb Science Award. The winner of this award is a student who demonstrates high achievement and rigor in science classes and earned high PSAT, SAT math scores. This year's recipient is Sophia Kim. The Rensselaer Medal. This honor goes to a promising student who has distinguished themselves in the math and science areas. This year's winner is Christopher Corcoran. I'd now like to call Dr. Hopkins back up for our final two awards.
National Merit Commended students placed among the top 50,000 scorers of more than 1.6 million students who entered the 2019 competition by taking the 2017 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, or PSAT. This year, Rutherford's two commended scholars are Sang Moon and Sophia Kim. And this concludes our presentation of awards this evening. The Board of...
Thank you. With no objection from the board, we will take a recess of about 15 minutes and reconvene in the cafeteria downstairs. No objections, so we're in recess. Thank you. So we'll come back into session. I was waiting for our student representative to make her way down here, but she's probably taking some pictures with her family as she was one of the recognized students. And if she shows up, we'll fit her in the schedule. So the next item on the agenda after the student representative's report was the report of our superintendent, and I would ask him to please make that now.
Thank you. Just a couple of items tonight. The first is CUSAC, as we've been talking about, is coming on January 4th. That is the state overview of your entire school district's operations, fiscal, governance, operation, instruction and program, and personnel. As we've been speaking about over the last several meetings, we have a committee formed that will put together the DPR, which is the District Performance Report. We have had our teachers, administrators, and supervisors, and custodial maintenance staff, the business office, working on gathering the documentation that the visitors see when they come in. So we're making steady progress in that regard. The December 10th board meeting, the board will be asked to approve the DPR, which is the self-analysis of your district performance evaluation to be sent forward to the state in anticipation of the January 4th visit. The facilities project, as we talked about, following the referendum vote of October 2nd, we are now in the process of reviewing and reflecting and meeting. I have several meetings scheduled over the next 3 to 4 weeks with various members of the community, stakeholders. The board had a committee met last week. The board approved a facility advisory committee met as well to just review again and gather thoughts and information. We are conducting a survey of all parents of selected students and of all faculty as part of CUSAC. It's a school climate survey that talks about all the aspects of school from the point of view of the student, the faculty or staff, or a parent. And we're going to add a few questions to the parent portion of that survey regarding thoughts on facilities to gather more information. At this point, I'm thinking that by December, the December 12th board meeting, now I may be off on the date, it's December 12th to December 10th. I'm thinking it might be December 10th. The December 10th board meeting, we'll be able to have a discussion, a review of the information that we've gathered. And tonight on the packet for your review and approval is the HIB self-assessment, the HIB policy, harassment, intimidation, bullying. Every year, the district has to do, by school, a self-assessment of programs in place to both train faculty and staff in terms of HIB prevention and how to deal with a HIB in terms of process to make sure we're in line with policy and state regulations, and also in terms of understanding how to deal with the actual events themselves. The self-evaluation you have in your packet sheet that goes back from the inception of the law in 2013-14, and you'll see that the overall grade of the district based on 78 points. This is a self-assessment again, how the administrators and HIB specialists in each building view how they're handling things. Went from 64 average in the first year up to a 71.6 this year at a 78. You can see that those scores are very comparable to other schools in the area, better in many cases. It looks at self-assessment on programs we have in place for faculty and staff, programs we have in place for students, the training that's provided to staff, the things that are put into the curriculum, in particular, the Respect Week and the Violence Awareness Week activities that get done. It has in how things are reported according to our law and process, and also how the reporting is reviewed on the administrative level to make sure it's in compliance. So this self-assessment is a very healthy thing. We do very well on it. Even in areas where the score isn't perfect, you're being asked to say that you're meeting, and then the highest score would be exceeding. So in all areas, we're doing well. And this goes into the state every year as part of our overall violence and vandalism report that gets done. Okay? So the board is asked to approve, not the numbers, as the numbers are what the school evaluate themselves as, but to approve passing this on to the state through the homeroom system that we use. Okay? So any questions on any of this?
Just one question. Who does the self-evaluation?
The HIB specialists and the counselors and administrators who work on HIB, who would set up the training and the program.
Okay, thanks.
And the list of schools at the bottom that we're part of, is that a predefined list?
No, those are just schools of comparable geographic or comparable size as we are.
And then is the assessment, because they're all very similar in that they've increased from 4 years ago, to last year. And so are the assessments that each school is doing, is there a guideline for that?
Yes, there's a guideline from the state, and Ms. Holland, who is who oversees the district, meets with the specialists to review the guidelines. Sometimes there is a little bit of discrepancy where someone might view a program for training as being something different than a program, let's say, for edification of the student, where another school may count them, but we try to make sure that it's consistent as possible. Any other questions on any of the three things I spoke about? Okay, so that's it for.
Thank you. As we had a lengthy and enjoyable presentation upstairs, actually, I will go back into the agenda, and we would ask for the report of our student representative, please.
Congratulations.
And congratulations on receiving your award.
Thank you. So, yes, that's where I was.
If you want, you can stay seated, and we'll put a microphone in front of you to make it easier for you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Margaret Lasky, and RHS is getting ready for benchmarks this week. At the end of every quarter, each class has a test or project that counts for 15% of that quarter grade in placement of midterms and finals. The end of the first quarter is soon, so benchmarks are next week, and all of the students, including myself, are starting to prepare for that. In lighter news, this Friday, the football team will be playing the Aviators in Hasbrook Heights. This year, both teams are undefeated, and both teams won their state championship games last year, so everyone is very excited for the showdown. Last year, the team crushed their 3-year undefeated streak, so Rutherford has a lot to live up to. And the girls' soccer team became league champs for the first time in many years last week, and RHS is very proud to call them Bulldogs.
Is it a home game or an away game next week?
It's in Hasbrook Heights, so, yep.
That's great. Well, thank you. And it's, a few minutes ago we were upstairs, and at several points it was referenced that, we are first and foremost an academic institution, and yourself and your student colleagues were recognized for the work you've done in that area. It's great to hear also of the extracurricular success that we have throughout the school. So thank you for giving us that. Moving on now, any other questions? No? And as is usually the case, if you have some pressing school business to attend to, you're welcome to sneak out the side. Thank you.
Thanks for coming again.
So then, as we have had some presentations, I'll keep my report short as well. Number one, thank you for everyone completing the self-evaluation, the board evaluation at the New Jersey School Boards Association website in a timely fashion. That'll be something that gets us at least one good mark on CUSAC, and I'm sure there's going to be many others. But so we hit 100% on that, and I thank you, and I thank in particular our sheriff who rides herd on us for all of that. Thank you, Mrs. Jones, for keeping that fresh and in front of us. Number two, a second thank you to Mrs. Jones for, it seems like the PT Council either speaks to my boss or just checks when I get on a plane to go out of town because they have meetings when I'm overseas, and Mrs. Jones filled in again for me on that, and that was greatly appreciated. The third would be that as we're into the school year, of course, most of us have some kind of assignments with PTAs and with other liaisons throughout the community. So, keep abreast of that. And if you run into a conflict, just reach out to myself, and we'll find somebody to fill in for you on that. No problem. And we have the New Jersey School Boards Conference coming up, and who's going? Are you?
Mr. Elliott, Mr. Kelly, and myself.
Very good. Represent us well. Thank you. And then also in the packet we received was the calendar of activities for the upcoming month and a half. And so the workshop we just talked about, the 29th, there'll be the Board of Education Candidates Night. There are 3 positions open to be filled, and the candidates will be together to answer questions from the public at 7 p.m. right here in the cafeteria. That's next Monday. An important reminder for those that may be watching on television or here in the room that there's the Rutherford Educational Foundation is having a casino night on November 2nd. The Rutherford Educational Foundation does fantastic work in supplying support and augmenting our school budget with very worthwhile programs, and we greatly appreciate that. So anybody that can help support that is ultimately supporting the school. November 6th is Election Day. As I said, we'll be filling 3 positions here on the board. And then the rest of November, it seems like you're off much of the time. So it's, there are a number of one-session days and school closings for conferences, and of course Thanksgiving. So that is all, unless someone has some questions. Yes?
I believe also the PTA, high school PTA, is having a comedy beefsteak on Friday.
Friday night at the Elks.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
anyone's interested, I'm sure you could contact someone in the high school PTA.
High school PTA, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it is 8:19, and we will open the meeting to anyone from the public who wishes to make comments on agenda items only, please, at this point. Anybody with comments on agenda items?
Hi, Ray Tomzak, 46 Walnut Street in Rutherford. I just wanted to, first of all, thank the board and the superintendent and all the people that were involved. I know for the last 2 to 3 years it was quite a big effort to put the facilities plan together, and I know a lot of you put a lot of time and energy and thought into it.
I'm going to need to interrupt, and I'm so sorry for doing this, but so at this point in the meeting, we're looking for agenda items only, and then we'll have a general comment period after the agenda is addressed. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
So having no agenda item comments, at 8:20, we'll close the floor for public comment, and we'll move into the agenda where action is to be taken, new business, and we'll start with personnel. Mrs. Ahmed, would you walk us through that, please?
Surely. Start with recommendation superintendent to move the following. 1, Conrad Preyes, resignation of a teacher assistant. Antonio Spadero, number 2, substitute physical hiring, approved for hire the substitute physical education teacher. Maria Volantes, number 3, approved her as a long-term substitute teacher assistant at Washington School. Samantha Scannell, approved her as a part-time teacher assistant at Pierpont School. Samantha Singer, approved a disability leave with pay. Number 6, that was 5. Number 6, Daniel Angelson, and number 7, Angela Feliciano, are approved a disability leave with pay. 8, substitute teacher, and approval of the following sub-teachers: Maria Acosta, Caitlin Morfing, Jeanette Caraccio, and Nicole Alelos. 9, substitute teacher, teacher assistant approval: Caitlin Morfing, Jeanette Caraccio, and Nicole Alelos. Their assistants there. 8 was substitute teachers, and also 9 was substitute teacher assistant. 10, home instructors for 10 and 11. Maria Valente is a home instructor, and Nicole Alelos is a home instructor. 12, coach, Ricardo Carroll, to approve him as an assistant basketball coach. 13, high school co-curricular, to rescind Nicole Bowden and approve Veronica Grillo for co-curricular assignments. 14, travel reimbursements, and that's a large group there as listed. 15, lunch monitor approval of E.C. Ozer as a lunch monitor at Kindergarten Center. 16, Title I instructors, teachers for Title I programs. And in Lincoln Annex, Daniel Angelson, Anna Capria, Jay Fagenbaum, Daniel Green, and Stephanie Ramo. 17, law enforcement liaison, Mr. John Hurley as a law enforcement liaison for 2018-19 school year.
So we're still in a period of general discussion before they're formally moved. So, any questions or comments before moving them? And there were no personnel meetings during the last month,
No.
correct? So then are you formally moving personnel 1 through 17?
Yes, I would.
And seconded by Mr. Rowland. Opportunity for last questions or comments regarding these 17 motions. Seeing none, I'd ask the secretary to please poll the board.
Mrs. Ahmed?
Yes.
Dr. Olati?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Librera?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzone?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next area, which is curriculum and instruction. Mrs. Jones, would you?
Thank you. There are 6 resolutions for board member consideration tonight. Number 1, the anti-bully bill of rights for the statement of insurance for the 2017-2018 school year. Resolution 2, out-of-district placements. Resolution 3, field trips, which now total 67. Resolution 4, the approval of the emergency bus evacuation drills. See the attached list. And Resolution 5, home instruction for the students on file. And the last one is the Fashion Club, which is, this is the creation of the Fashion Club, and to approve Jessica Ferlato as the advisor. And this is a non-stipend position. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Our clubs often generate from student interest, and Ms. Ferluto is willing to do it as a non-stipend activity. And then we usually assess clubs as we go through, and sometimes one may be dropped, one may be added, and that's how the stipend gets in. But for now, there are students interested, and we have a teacher willing to do it, so we're happy about that.
And with the following 6 resolutions?
Moved and seconded by Second. Mr. Healy? Questions or comments? Yes.
I have a question. I don't know if it would come under this title, but on field trips, about seatbelts. Can I bring that up now?
What's your question?
So,
Well, I know we have seatbelts, but now they're saying that we have to have the 3.
On any bus manufactured after February of 2019.
So we'll be installing them?
If you buy, no, because it's what they don't really tell you in the newspaper is that the older buses really cannot be retrofitted safely to the 3 harness. The bus manufacturers and the insurance companies will not really support that because of the way the seat's constructed. So, but any new bus that gets leased or purchased going forward has to have the 3-seat harness, 3-belt harness.
Okay, thank you.
And how long do we have the buses that we have now? We've leased them, right?
We lease them.
Yeah, we own some and we lease some. We're limited to 15 years of age before they have to be replaced.
any other questions or comments concerning curriculum and instruction in items 1 through 6? Hearing none, I'd ask the secretary to please poll the board.
Mrs. Ahmed?
Yes.
Dr. Olati?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Librera?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzone?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to finance. Mrs. Librera, would you please take the word?
Sure. We have eight motions tonight in the finance area. We have not met as a finance committee since the last meeting. The first is the standard approval of bills. The second is the district auditor peer review letter, which we all got this evening. The third is to approve Bauman and Company as the auditor of record for the school year of 2017-2018. And there is a statement there that will be printed as a notice of award for professional services contract. Number 4, pre-referendum services authorizes the withdrawal from capital reserve of an amount not to exceed $75,000 for payment to Parrott Somgen Architects for additional pre-referendum services at an amount not to exceed $75,000 necessitated by additional environmental testing requirements. Number 5, health benefit offering or program offering to approve the offering of an additional health benefit plan called NJ Direct Zero through the School Employees Health Benefits Plan to benefits eligible employees effective January 1st, 2019. This is in addition to the 6 plans that are already on offer to benefits eligible employees through the SEHB. Number 6, BCSS Educational Enterprises to approve Bergen County Special Services Educational Enterprises to provide augmentative and alternative communication evaluations for students as needed. $875 per evaluation with report. And number 7 and number 8 are companion motions as I read them. One is to authorize the purchase of electricity supply services, and the other is to authorize the purchase of natural gas supply services, and both are leveraging an online auction website with details as listed. So I move motions 1 through 8.
Seconded by Mr. Racine.
Yeah, can you speak to the pre-referendum services item?
Yeah, number 4. As you remember, about a year ago, the board approved a number of pre-referendum services, largely environmental in nature. There are some things that came out of that required additional testing, additional filing with the state of New Jersey. So we're just trying to capture that information too. I do not see it exceeding $75,000. This is really a hard ceiling as I see it right now. In fact, the work is essentially done, but it's really just trying to catch up with what's been done.
Okay. And can you talk through the last 2 motions in terms of the mechanics of the online auction?
Yeah, the last, I'm going to be honest with you here, in the last 10 or 15 years, the district And the board has approved every year joining the ACES consortium, which is the Alliance for Competitive Energy Services, I think, both for natural gas and for electric. And that's a program that's in the state. It's open to all school districts, and it's sponsored by the my group, my association, school business officials, New Jersey school boards, and also the Superintendent's Association. A couple of years ago, I had the privilege of serving as a trustee for my association, and I saw that because of this consortium for electric and natural gas, a lot of money being saved, and a lot of that money was going into the pockets of my association, school boards, and the superintendents. So this came to my attention that this is the opportunity to participate in this auction for electric and gas supplies. This is through Ed Data Services, so it's still a consortium of school districts and municipalities that have joined up with it. Well, we'll go out to bid. There's a strike price there, so we'll be looking for something below that. It's a very active bidding process. I plan on observing it online. It'll be held on October 30th, and that's for both of them, the natural gas and the electric. But I'm confident we'll get a better supply rate than we've gotten with the previous setup.
And the strike price compared to our current cost is?
It's slightly lower than what we're paying now. The health benefits?
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Okay, number 5 is to offer an additional health benefit plan. As you mentioned, New Jersey Direct Zero. This is a brand new plan that was just announced, say, a month ago. Not a whole lot of information out there, but it may be beneficial to some of our employees, so we had discussed the possibility of offering it to them. It is a $0 copay plan, whereas the richest plan that we have right now is a $10 copay. But there are some restrictions to this plan which could make it not beneficial. It could, for some employees, it could be beneficial. Those, possibly younger employees who, may not need to go to the doctor all that much, they might save some money in their health benefit contributions. It is a lower premium than we're paying for anything else. So, for that reason, we don't want to discourage anybody for doing it. But we have notified the staff that this is an option for them pending your approval tonight. And we listed out some of the restrictions. Mandatory generic medications. In addition, other non-generic, you have to compare to a list of non-generic medications that are not available under this plan. Unfortunately, well, that list is not public, so you run the risk if you are on some non-generic medication that it won't be covered. There is a higher deductible for copay for emergency room visits, that sort of thing. So I believe the staff has been informed of what the pros and the cons are here, and they can make an educated decision. But we did want to offer it just in case it does work for somebody.
And to be clear, we didn't take any options away. We just
No,
added
no.
an additional option.
No, we had the 6. This is one more. So.
This one sounds like a good plan for someone who doesn't need health care.
Yeah, maybe.
So. Any other questions? Hearing none, I ask the secretary to please poll the board.
Mrs. Ahmed?
Yes.
Dr. Olati?
Yes.
Mr. Healy?
Yes.
Mrs. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Librera?
Yes.
Mr. Mazzone?
Yes.
Dr. Racine?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to policy, Mr. Healy, do we have nothing?
We've not had any committee meetings since our last board meeting, and there's no motions tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Building and grounds, Mr. Mazzone?
The same. We've not had any meetings since our last board meeting and no committee meetings.
Thank you. I guess I should ask, it's not on the agenda, but strategic planning?
I covered.
Covered in Mr. Hurley's report, so, okay. And that concludes then our new business for the evening. Move into old business, or really any business, if there's a board member that wishes to bring something to us. No? And then legislative update, Mrs.
I don't really
Jones?
have an update. I'll try to attend the legislative session down in school boards. The next delegate assembly is November 17th. I think we have a board meeting before that, though, so I did register for it, but if the questions come up with what we're going to discuss, I will share at the
Okay.
November 12th meeting. And are we going to go over the evaluation, board evaluation?
Yeah, I'm not
November?
sure, so I meant to cover that when I thank you for filling out the evaluation. So the process will be that they'll be consolidated and sent to me, and then at a meeting soon after that, I'll distribute them to the group, and then we'll spend some time discussing the evaluations. Thank you. Then so we're moving fast tonight, so you didn't have to wait that long. At 8:36, we will open the floor again to any comments from the public on any topic at this point.
Hello again. So I'm Ray Tomzak, 46 Walnut Street. Again, I just wanted to commend the superintendent, the board president, the rest of the board, everyone involved. I know you all spent a lot of time. You did a lot of your homework to put together a facilities plan that really was a second to none kind of plan, and really was going to push this district even further forward. And I look forward in the next 2 months to being part of that process, as I'm sure other people do in the community, as you work through and come up with another plan, because I know the needs are there, so there's definitely something that has to be done. But it's kind of tricky, as I'm sure you all know. I was kind of surprised, actually. I thought the margin of the vote would be much closer than it turned out to be. Losing by 600 votes, it's a pretty good spread. So I know a lot of the pool supporters came and they said they had 1,000 people that supported their side. I don't know if that's a true number or not, but however you get to the next plan, I'm just looking forward to being part of the process, and I just want to thank you guys, and I know it's a tough one, but we'll come up. I'm sure you guys will come up with something that will eventually pass muster, and but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no other members of the public wishing to make comment. We will close the floor for public comment at 8:39. And we do need a, yes.
Just a comment on committee meetings. I think we're scheduling perhaps a finance on November 5th. Does that seem right, Joe?
Yes.
Yes, because we'll be starting once again, we're starting the budget process. So
Yeah.
November 5th. And policy, we're anticipating getting our quarterly update from Strauss Esme sometime in November. So we'll be meeting once that comes in to look at any revisions or that are mandated or suggested at that time.
Need a motion for executive session to discuss
Two student issues.
Two student issues.
Move that we go into executive session to discuss 2 student issues.
And one contract issue.
And 1 contract issue.
10 minutes.
Need about 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes, yeah, 15 minutes top.
No action taken.
There'll be no action taken.
No action taken.
Seconded, Mr. Racine. All in favor?
Aye.
We're in executive session.